everyone, I'm Heather Podesta, star maker for entrepreneurs who want to unlock their potential, command any stage, and make blockbuster profits. Welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a brand that makes you happy and profitable. Here we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather Podesta and welcome to this episode of Thrive, How to Create Your Own Economy with my guest Tina Brinkley Potts. Tina Potts is an award-winning author, an online digital strategist, and a Top Gun consultant who teaches entrepreneurs how to build an online empire so they can create their own economy. On this episode, Tina shares with us what we need to do to create a snowball effect for success in our business. She talks to us about what most entrepreneurs don't understand about leveraging the internet to grow their businesses and why it's so important not to pay attention to the headlines in internet marketing. She also shares with us what we need to have in place to attract an ideal client anywhere, anytime, including in the grocery store. Tina is a powerhouse and one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. I hope you enjoy the show. Hi everyone, I'm Heather Podesta and welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a brand that makes you happy and profitable. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. You're in for 30 minutes of high value content coming to you from industry leaders who are growing their businesses, making an impact, and rocking their brands. And I am so excited to have my special guest today, Tina Potts. Tina Brinkley Potts is a Top Gun consultant, award-winning author, business strategist, and online marketing trainer.
Okay, she's stuck. Okay, I think Heather is having some internet issues, so we'll just wait till she comes back on. It dropped, huh? So I see Aisha in the chat, and hopefully Heather will be able to come back on soon. Oh, I see her face popped up. Oh, there she goes.
Internet problems, so if it might go wonky, we might have to try another time, but if you want to keep going, we can keep going.
Yeah, you know, that stuff happens.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording and start it over, and then
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather Podesta, and welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a brand that makes you happy and profitable. I want to thank you all for being here. You are in for 30 minutes of high value content coming to you from industry leaders who are growing their businesses, making an impact, and rocking their brands. And I could not be more happy than having my guest here today, Tina Brinkley Potts. She is a powerhouse, and you're going to learn so much from her today. Tina is a Top Gun consultant, award-winning author, business strategist, and online marketing trainer who teaches entrepreneurs and small business owners how to build a digital empire to create.
Oh no, she got stuck again. Internet can do that for you, right?
Economy.
So it's okay. Oh, that's okay. You got stuck for like 5 seconds, but that's okay.
Okay, I really apologize to everybody, so we'll see how this goes. But I just want to tell all this stuff about Tina because she's so awesome. She's worked with professional athletes, leaders of academia, high-level executives, and rising entrepreneurs to teach them how to hone and market their storehouse of knowledge and expertise so they can chart their own path to the dollar amount they desire. Not only has Tina made millions for her clients, she's taken companies public as well. And her company has grossed millions in sales. She is, as I said, a true powerhouse with a heart of gold. So thank you so much for being here, Tina.
Thank you. Thanks, Heather, for having me.
Yeah, and one of the things that as I was reading your bio that struck me that I wanted to start with was you are so great at what the phrase was of helping entrepreneurs, small business leaders, whoever the person is that wants that thought leadership and that economy of their own,
Mhm.
to hone and market, I loved this, their storehouse of knowledge and expertise so they can chart their own course. So talk to me a little bit about that, because I know a lot of people have been around the sun a few times. They do have a storehouse of knowledge and expertise and wisdom to share, but they don't always know how to get that out there.
Well, Heather, one of the things that happen is most people, when they go out into the world, they're mimicking someone else instead of just being who they truly are. And when I start talking to my clients, I start realizing where their expertise is, right? Because you can see where they glow. Like they'll just light up. They'll have this passion. And then it's like, okay, well, wow, right there. Let's just stay right there for a minute. And when you get someone working in what I like to call their superpower, things go so much faster, right? It's like you're creating this momentum, you're creating this snowball that's going to create an avalanche when you work in your superpower. But, the biggest thing is most people are trying to do it like someone else that they saw or see out in the world. And they really don't know the backstory on how they got there.
I love that because there are so many people out there that are teaching digital marketing, right? I mean, there are a million people out there doing that, but not all their clients are reaching superstar status or making millions or taking their companies public. So you have to marry the two. You have to have that alignment of your superpower with strategic digital marketing, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what is it that most entrepreneurs, besides not understanding their superpower, what don't they understand about how to leverage the internet to grow their businesses?
To stop believing the headlines, right? When you see, oh, I closed 4 clients in this week and you can too. Or, I made $1 million in a month and, I'm going to teach you exactly how I did it. And so everyone wants to gravitate to that, right? But there's the whole backstory that no one is talking about. There's so many things that have to happen before someone will become your client. First, they got to know who you are. That's the biggest part. And then it's like, okay, all of a sudden you show up. Why should I listen to you? So, they talk about this know, like, and trust factor. Well, all of these things have to happen, and the person has to have the need and the desire. They have to see that you can fulfill, taking them out of a pain. And most of the time, that's not what's happening in marketing. So we want to believe that instant message. Like, I tell people all of the time, I can take one person, and I might have doubled her business in a month. I might have helped somebody earn $50,000 in a month, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for you. They may have already had some online collateral. They may have already had some videos. They may have had something and just haven't pulled it together yet. And then I go pull it together, and now we have this explosion. It all depends. And most of the time, people are getting disappointed and they're buying program after program after program and with no results. And normally that is the reason.
Yeah, there's a famous quote that all diets work if you stick with them.
Right, if you stick with them. Yeah, that's right.
They'll work if you stick with them. And I think that that's one of the things is I think we live in a fast food society where it's immediate gratification. If you don't see those results, it's like, oh, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And but there is, and maybe you can talk about this, there is a tipping point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you get to that tipping point where, you're chugging along, you're laying your foundation and you're doing the things and you're not seeing the result. You're doing the right thing. You're working with someone smart like you who's got all the back end knowledge and keeping you in your zone of genius and it's right. You're chugging along, but there is a tip. How do you navigate that tipping point?
You'll start seeing people inbox you, right? They may not like your status, but now they're inboxing you and they're going, oh, you know what? I really loved what you were talking about. Or, they're like, that last video you put out, it really spoke to my heart. It explained to me in a nutshell. You really know when that'll start happening, and then you'll stop spending as much money in ads and things will happen organically, right? And you're like, wow, okay, I can see this happening. People will actually know you when you go somewhere, that's the craziest part.
Yeah, well, I had that happen this summer. I was on the vineyard and I saw, what is his name? Jonathan Fields. And he was getting coffee, and I was like, I felt like I saw Madonna or something. And I was, because you follow someone, and you start to feel like you know them. But
yes.
I love what you're saying, because it requires a certain amount of vulnerability and willingness to be seen, and that can be challenging for some people because either they lack the confidence or they don't know what it is they should be putting out there. So talk to me a little bit about that. How do you help people, and what are your feelings about how you develop that confidence, and that's, I like to think of it as sort of centered knowing of what you should be putting out there.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we second guess ourselves. And right? But like, you instantly know what your message is supposed to be to the world. But then you begin watering it down because you start thinking about what everybody else is going to think. And I believe if you just get quiet and centered every day before you start, and then you just go from that place and really just talk about, be vulnerable. Don't try to hide anything. I mean, and for as many successes as I've had that many or more failures. But at the same time, it has all made me who I am. And because I love my life and I love what I do, I am willing to share the failures just as much as I share the successes. And when you don't have anything to hide, it puts you in a better space. And when the trolls come out, like we had our first troll on one of my blabs like Sunday, right? And I was like, it was pretty crazy. And so when they come out, you don't care. You just really don't care because you don't have anything to hide and you're living authentically.
Yeah, I love that. And that thing of not comparing yourself to other people. That's I think that's so hard, because you have to have mentors, you have to have role models, right? You have to have something to know that they're, you just said, I love my business. I'm really happy. So of course, people want that. And so they will look to you and say, I want what she has. It's like, it's like the Meg Ryan scene, when she's at the restaurant and I'll have what she's having.
Sally, yeah, I'll have what she's having.
That's right. So how do you balance that then of looking for people who inspire you, who guide you, without getting overwhelmed with comparison? And I love the phrase, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle, right? Or someone else's 3/4 of the way done. But how do you balance that?
Well, first by planning, right? So it's great to go look at all of these shining examples in the world. But then at the end of the day, you have to come back and you have to bring it back to planning. Like most online launches, there were months of planning before the online launch happened. It didn't just happen 2 days later. And so, people aren't really sharing all of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes first. So that's the first thing. The second thing is just learn to take the time and really put A players in place to do the things that you don't know how to do or don't want to do, because there's things in your business every single day that you wake up and you say, I should be doing this. And most of the time you don't do it. And after a while, you have to look at that and you have to start saying, okay, why do I not want to do this? Do I feel like it's a waste of my time? Does it make me uncomfortable? Or is it something that I really should be delegating? I mean, you just really need to ask yourself those questions and get it handled, whichever way you're going to go with it.
Oh, yeah. And I can say, I mean, Tina helps me. And that what she just said is so important because I like to be in front of the camera. I like to be, that's where I feel comfortable and confident. And all those back end pieces make me overwhelmed. And, I had that moment where I was like, how can I grow my business if I don't have all these pieces that I can deliver? And I can't do all of those things. So having a team like Tina's team and a team to really support you in the ways that you don't feel like a superwoman, superman allows you to do your talent and really shine. So I totally 100% agree with that.
Yes, yes.
So,
It's funny because we get into these cycles and we're doing the same thing. And when I meet a lot of my clients, they're spending so much time on social media every day because they've been believing the headlines. If you hang out in groups and you interact in groups, you're going to just find all of your clients from those groups on Facebook, right? It's like, oh no, absolutely not. And
mhm.
you just want to be able to say, okay, let's really talk about sound business principles. What do you have in place for lead generation? It could be Facebook. I love Facebook. So yeah, I'm not down in Facebook, but it could be Facebook. Could be LinkedIn. It could be you're out at a networking event. It could be you're in the grocery store. It could be a
Mhm.
video. It could be so many things, but you have to have lead generation. If people don't see you and they don't become qualified leads, they're never going to buy from you. So hanging in groups does not necessarily guarantee lead generation. So it's getting back to what the sound business principles are and then converting them into internet strategies. And most people aren't making that direct correlation.
So are you saying that, and I'm a big believer of go where the fish are swimming.
Yes,
So where your fish are
your
swimming,
fish are
not
swimming.
just
Yeah.
where your fish are swimming. But if your fish are swimming at the grocery store, how do you make that transition to leverage the net?
Yeah, I talk about my business pretty much everywhere I go. I mean, like, I know I could probably be irritating about it, but sometimes I can just hear a conversation. It's like you have this radar, right? And it's like, oh, she needs me, right? And so then I pop right into the conversation. And I'm not even offering services at that point. Most of the time, I'm like, you know what? I got this great video you should watch.
Mm.
Oh man, this video teaches you how to sell one thing 100 different ways or something like that. So, I mean, even in the grocery store, I can be in airports, I can be in a hotel trying to go back to my room, and I meet leads everywhere I go.
What I love about what you just said, though, Tina, is that you are prepared with something in your back pocket. You're not trying to sell somebody something. You're not saying buy this, buy this, buy this. It's that you are saying value first, give, 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 give. What is it? Give, 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 ask,
Hmm.
right? Four gives, one
Hmm.
ask. You're giving up front,
Hmm.
but you have something developed already. And I think that's a mistake a lot of people make is they get out there and they're trying to, push their coaching programs. And we all want business. So I'm not being critical, but you're trying to grow your business and sell things and have revenue coming in, but you haven't done all of the work to build up your platform.
Right. I mean, it's just like going out on a date. You know, you can't expect you're going to have a one night stand every single time. You know what I mean? You just can't. You really have to learn the art of courting. You got,
Yeah.
learn to court people.
Hmm.
A lot of my clients tell me that I had a new client start yesterday, and the first thing she said when she introduced herself to everybody else that's in that group, she said, I've been wanting to work with Tina for months now.
Hmm.
So how does she know about me? How does she know she want to work with me? Because I haven't known her, I didn't know her for months. We started talking maybe about 6 weeks ago, but I didn't know her for months. So
Hmm.
the fact that she was able to say that made me think, okay, she's been looking. She's been watching videos. She's been doing whatever. So, which is good. Oh, I think Heather froze again.
Tina?
Yes, I can hear you. You're not moving yet. Okay, you're moving again.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you. you don't know. I mean, I've heard lots of different schools of wisdom about how much time, money, and energy you should be spending on building platform versus making sales, and there's time and place for both.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the platform thing is so important because you never know how you're going to touch somebody. You posted something the other day about the suicide prevention woman, not on my watch,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Right. You never know who that's going to touch, right?
Yeah. And
who's gonna...
do you know what that started from?
No.
Doing exactly what we're doing now.
No
because
way.
I started doing hot seat transformations on Blab.
Yeah.
And literally, the first show, someone told her she needed to get in the hot seat. She didn't the first time. So she ended up coming back to like the third time. And but she listened to the advice that I gave the person in the first time. And she went and did that video.
Wow.
And immediately, like, she had put it out like on at midnight. And then in the morning she woke up, it had already had, I don't know, over 1,000 views and had like 80 shares just because. So you never know who you're helping, right? I didn't know I was helping her. She was listening behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I want to say something about that because for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, this woman started a movement called Not on My Watch for people who are in danger of committing suicide, or families who have people who are in danger of committing suicide. And, even what you just said, my heart got, it's like, oh man, the fact that she got so many hits on that meant that there's a need, that people are in pain and they need her voice. And I think she even said, I'm your voice when you don't have a voice.
Yes.
And you serving her in your brilliance is you ultimately helping those people who are in need of support or and in danger of committing suicide. Because your gift is going through her to them to get love and support. So all of us need to step up and do that. And you never know. That's what I was saying about platform. You never know what your voice is going to do to impact somebody and getting your message out there. And you might feel like I'm not Tina yet, or I'm not Tony Robbins yet, or I'm not Lewis Howes yet, whoever you think the big guns are. Your voice matters, and getting it out there is going to change the world. And it might come out in digital marketing, it might come out in a diet, it might come out in branding, it might come out in fitness training. You don't know. But getting your message out there, people need to hear it. They need to hear your voice because you don't know how it's going to impact someone. I had someone the other day call me. She said she'd been following me a while, and she has cancer, and told me that I was on her bucket list of someone to talk to. And I was like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I was very humbled, and so you don't know. You never know how that's going to happen.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the show. There's still more great content to come, but I wanted to take just a minute to talk to you about a new course I've created called Close Any Room. You may have noticed that all of my guests know how to speak about their businesses in a clear and compelling way. But that's something a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, and it's something you need to know how to do so you can convert your audience into more sales. And that's why I've created this course. It's a 6-week audio course to teach you how to craft a signature talk so that you can authentically give value and close more of your audience from the stage. In the class, you learn how to create a clear and compelling point of view, how to organize your content and give great value to your audience without giving away the farm, how to structure your talk so that it seamlessly closes your audience at the end without feeling salesy. And I also give you templates and instructions how to create marketing materials, a speaker sheet, and all kinds of sign-up sheets when you're giving your talks. And finally, what everybody's hot to know, I also give you tips and resources on how to find speaking gigs. It's an all-inclusive course so that you can start closing and selling more from the stage. And as my free gift to you for tuning into the podcast, I'm giving you my free webinar, also called Close Any Room, and you can listen to it at clearvoicebranding.com/close-any-room.
room, and it will give you lots of tips and information to get you started on how to create that signature talk that sells. Okay, we're going to get back to the show now. There's still more great content to come. Thanks for joining me.
It's amazing when you start getting those messages right. Like when you wake up to, just because you were speaking on a platform like we are today, and someone sends you the message and say, just that they're not giving up on their business just because of listening to us talk today. Yeah. Or, I had a quadriplegic join one of my blabs the other day, and how he's stepping forth in his life. And I just, you're just so humbled, you're so warm, and because you're just giving, it's like, what, I don't have all of the answers. I don't even try, but at the same time, I'm just going to offer what I know. And however you use it, you use it. And that's what we want people to begin to do.
Yeah. And the other thing about it is what is fantastic and has value, and you want to be paid for it. All of us want to grow our profits and grow our businesses. And I think that's part of it, is that the vulnerability, getting your voice out there, being of service, is what draws people in. It attracts them to you so that you can also then help them with your zone of excellence, your zone of genius, whatever that is, so that they can get what they need. So I think that sometimes people confuse
the order.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it a little bit spiritual.
Okay.
So, in the spiritual world, we have, they have this saying, you need to be, then you do, and then you have. And see, everybody wants the have part, but you got to start where you're going to be it first. And people confuse the term fake it till you make it with actually being, right? Like before I ever could grow a company to $1 million, I didn't even have that worth inside of me. I was doing it for other people. I was literally, I could tell you stories, but I was creating companies and getting them to 6 figures and 7 figures and then even 8 figures. And, but I couldn't pay my electric bill. So, but I was not being the prosperity that I was helping someone else do.
It's so interesting.
You got to be it first. Then you do. Then you get out there and you start sharing your message. Then you will have. It's just the order of life.
Yeah, it's so awesome that you said that, because I've had many people say to me, and when I've talked to clients or potential clients, they say, oh, I want to work with you, but I'm not ready yet. First, I have to figure this out. I'm like, this is figuring it out. This is where you figure it out, and taking that time and the space to hear your voice. And I always say, some people say, listen to your audience, listen to your audience, listen to your audience. But you have to start with your own voice.
Yes.
As a singer, you want to fill the hall. You want to have a lot of people in the audience. But if your audience wants you to sing Wagner and you have a Puccini voice, you're going to shred your chords, right? You're not going to last. It's going to be too overpowered. That's not what your voice was designed to do. So you have to start with your own instrument, your own gifts, your own calling.
Superpower.
And then, your own power, man, and then get that out there. And then the flip side, of course, is if you have to think about the audience in terms of, if you like Philip Glass and that's all you want to sing, you're probably going to have a pretty small audience.
Well, you know what, Heather? Actually, you just got to learn to play to your audience. Right? So once you figure out who you are and you just decide you're going to shine, now you figure out who's the right audience for that. Most people get that a little backwards. They want to convert an audience to them, and that's not really how it works.
I love that. Yeah.
It's not how it works. Be you, and then find your audience. That audience will find you, because they're going to resonate with the words that come out of your mouth. They're going to resonate with your energy, just how you project. They will begin to resonate with that. And then you'll get your right client. You'll learn what matters to them. Then that's your marketing. When you know your clients, like when you have one client, you can get 2. Because once you have one client, you can start studying that person, what matters to them. not the demographics. You know, everybody talks about that customer avatar, right? And they talk about, oh, you know, they live in Boston or whatever. No, not none of that. Learn what matters to them. Learn what keeps them up at night. Can you offer a solution to that? Those are the things that will help you attract the right client for you.
But I think that what you said, I just want to reiterate what you said actually, because even in what you said, I think people jump out of themselves because they're trying to figure out what everybody wants first instead of what do I have to offer? How do I want to express myself first and then seeing who comes? Yes? Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that and what happens, you can tell if you're doing that by the end result. Like what I do, I can do it in my sleep. Somebody literally can wake me up out of my sleep and I can pick up a telephone call and they can ask me a question and I can answer without even being fully awake. That's my superpower. I'm working in my superpower. Now,
please don't call Tina at 1 o'clock in the morning.
No, but think about when you're in that position and you're constantly saying, I don't know, or you're constantly second guessing yourself. That's because you're really catering to somebody else instead of catering to who you are.
So let's talk about then the good stuff. Like what happens, in your opinion, when you really tap in? What changes, what shifts happen for you?
What shifts happening is, let's see, you start owning your space. People start knowing who you are. And not just for popularity's sake, but the right people who want what you have start knowing who you are.
I love that.
Just by owning you.
I love that. And then just as soon as you said that, I was thinking about my back, because as a singer, it was when I was working with younger kids, everybody they're shy and they want to start singing like they think they're going to make a big sound like this. And you don't make, big body, no big sound, right? You have to have a back. You have to make your body bigger. You have to project your aura. And I love that. And then when you do that, you can invite people in, you can send messages out, you can express yourself, but nobody is going to hear you if you're like this, and nobody is going to hear your brand or resonate with your brand if you're not really taking ownership of that, embodying it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So really kind of what we're talking about is personal branding, right? So talk to me a little bit about your feelings of what if I have a small business, but I've heard all this stuff about personal branding. How do those two things go together?
Wow. So becoming the expert in your field is really what personal branding is about. It is about, showing people that, you really are the go-to person that they want. And that's what personal branding is. And I do it a lot. We have, there's a doctor in our group, right? And, this doctor has patients flying in from around the country. And that's from personal branding. That is because he has something that is unique to him that people want. Yeah.
So Tina, for your personal brand, what is unique about you?
I help people create an economy. I don't care where you are. I don't care where you're starting from. I don't care what you've done. I don't care if, the whole world fell apart yesterday. We can start today. We don't have to dwell on what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter what you want. Like I said, I have people who grew up, thought all of their life they wanted to be an attorney. And then they got there and they're like, oh no, this wasn't right.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, it's crazy because people start having shame over that kind of stuff. They, they start feeling guilty. And I'm just like, you know what? Let's just do what you want to do. And let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. And I think that's one of the things I get the most, that is most gratifying to me, is that I really help people begin to live the life that they want to live. Even if they didn't know what that was, they start crafting it when they work with me.
Yeah, I love that. That's really awesome. So you've got your pulse, your finger on the pulse of what's hot and working,
Mhm.
right? What's really working in the digital world right now. So what is hot? What do we need to know about? What's going to help us?
Facebook ads, but not just Facebook ads where you're running an ad and you go, okay, it doesn't work. Facebook ads and retargeting. So if you don't have enough clients right now, learn Facebook ads and learn how to retarget at the same time, and then add video. All three of those things at once. Those three
Awesome.
things will change your business pretty quickly.
That's awesome. I love that. So Facebook, retargeting Facebook ads and video. And, if you like, I personally don't want to sit and look at my computer and look at all the retargeting, the technical things like that. So if that's you, then you need somebody like Tina to help you do that so that you can, okay, so you've got the Facebook ads and you've got the video. Maybe you're more of a video person than a technical person. So live in front of the camera. If you're more of a technical person, then get some help with being in front of the camera, right? So that you can feel confident. But really, going back to what you said, stick with your zone of genius
Yeah.
to really leverage your success, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And don't feel guilty. I just released a PDF yesterday, and I was talking about more than 140 characters getting beyond the headline. And
Mm-hmm.
what I realized is when I started working with the clients that I'm working with now, most people were feeling guilty because everybody makes the techie part seem so easy. And so
Oh,
if you
God.
didn't get it, you kind of felt less than, like, okay, well, wait a minute. They said I can do this myself and I can't do it myself. And I'm like, you're not supposed to.
Oh, amen. Amen. I just want to say that because I am not a techie person, and you know that. I'm not. But I tried, and I'm not stupid, and I tried to do those things, and I followed a lot of different advice. But if you make one wrong click along, when you're setting up your ad or the targeting or something wonky goes with Facebook, then you're spending all this money and time setting it up. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's not really doing what you think it should be doing.
And then it takes the wins out of your sales. And,
Mm-hmm.
of course, the end result is you want more sales, but at the same time, you got to learn how to read the stats. You got to know if your Facebook ad is converting and it is your landing page that's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times people scrap everything when that's not really what needs to happen. It could be just the ad isn't converting, or it could be just the landing page. And when you don't know these things because you're trying to step out of your superpower, the momentum can't build, and it can't build quickly.
Yeah, and I mean we've gone full circle, right? We've gone full circle because your brand may be fine.
Yeah.
It may be fine,
Mm-hmm.
but you just haven't stuck with it long enough, and you maybe haven't found the right cocktail of expressing it, or maybe your ad needs to be tweaked. But it's not that you have to trash everything that you've done, and maybe you just need to give it a chance for the ad to have some legs too, and to get your videos out there.
Yes.
So, all right. Awesome. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Tina. So before we end, I always ask, what are you most grateful for?
My kids.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And are they, they express how proud they are of you, and are they supportive of your business? That's
No,
awesome.
no, I didn't mean it in a bad way, but I am just mom, and it's like,
Yes.
hey, listen, I need to be picked up at 5 or whatever it is, or can you go to the grocery store? They don't care,
But you know what? That's a sign of a good mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a sign of a good mom. So, I love that answer. I love that answer. And I am really grateful for you, for your love and support, and really, truly, truly, truly grateful for you for everything that you've done for me and my business, and for sharing all your expertise with our audience. And I hope that you guys all enjoyed her. Tina is a powerhouse. She certainly knows how to represent herself as the expert. And if you think that you feel like you need help with doing something like that, my gift to all my attendees on Blab is a free webinar that I have on how to close any room, how to stand up in front of a room or online and show up as the expert like Tina. So if if you want that gift, it's at
It's
Clear
really
Voice
good.
Brand.
Yeah, hold on. Before you give
Yeah.
the URL, it is really, really good. I've been in the online space for a long time, so I have to give just this really quick endorsement. I've been in the online space for a long time, and I've seen a lot of webinars. And so when I watched Heather deliver this webinar, I was like, oh my God, that webinar was good. And then I literally went to some of my other clients and was like, hey, you got to watch that webinar because it was good. So it really is a good webinar. Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tina. So I'll give the URL. It's clearvoicebranding.com/close-any-room. So if you want to get in on the action on the webinar, it's free, no strings attached. I'd love to have you. Thank you so much for being here, Tina. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all of our audience out there. So until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Thrive. I loved having you here. I love having you as part of my community. And if you're enjoying the show, I would love it if you share it with your friends on Twitter, on Facebook, or wherever they're hanging out. I also want to let you know you can leave me feedback or comments. I love hearing from you. Just post those at heatherpodeska.com. You can also leave suggestions for topics that you'd like to know more about, or if there's someone you'd really like to see on the show, let me know that as well. Okay, until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye.